Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome back to episode 3 of Through the Keyhole. So, we've got a few more camp builds to have a look around today that I've picked up through the player vending mechanics in Fallout 76. As usual, these are not my builds, with the exception of this one here, anyway. So, credit where it's due, and the goal, as always, is not to be overly critical, but to find a little bit of inspiration from some of the other very creative individuals in and around Appalachia. So for those wondering about submitting your own builds, I've got a couple of plans coming together, so do keep your eyes open for future notifications on that point. If you haven't already, it'd be a good opportunity to hit that notification bell. So, without too much further ado, let's jump in and have a look around a couple of these camps, shall we? Okay, it's a bit of a nighttime tour for this first one, but I didn't want to server hop for obvious reasons. So we are right up at the top of the Northern Savage Divide with this build, and it's fairly standard at first glance, but it's got a couple of very cool features once you actually get into it. Right up on the cliff edge here, so the view is pretty stunning. That's always cool. I very, very much like this little brewing station set up in the middle of the floor here, rather than pushing them up against the wall, which is usually the way I do it. But having a little sort of standalone thing in the middle of the room on the rug there is quite cool. I like the little decorations they've got attached there with the stash box and the plant stuff as well. It's a nice creative use of the brewing stations that you don't see too often, which is very, very cool. Fire vending tucked into the corner. Take a look around the inside. Mixing up a bit of the materials there, which is always cool. So a little bit more cramped in here. I like the use of the conduit. It contrasts really nicely with the light laminate flooring, which is quite cool. Something I'm going to have to try out using at some point, because I've never really made any use of the conduit for its intended functions anyway, not in either 76 or in Fallout 4, so might have to try playing around with that at some point. Colour's really quite bold down there. So, not a lot of space upstairs, a couple of sleeping bags chucked down, so functional, but a little cosy. Bit of a grilling area out on the balcony here. Nice view over the top end of the Savage Divide here. Do a little bit of furniture out on this, I think. I'm curious about the cycling light from the look of that. I was wondering where the little blue light in the corner was coming from. Not quite sure what the goal is with that one, but it adds a little bit of character. I do like a little bit of colour here and there. Very, very ominous coming down these stairs though. That view down the side of the cliff there is a little intimidating. Looks cool though, it's a nice effect. Do you like that very much? So yeah. Nice simple camp build with some really cool ideas tucked in there. I like that a lot. Long way down this ladder. Gonna be a bit of a theme, I think, for a couple of these builds. Tall ladders. Not something I've indulged in yet, but we'll have to look into that. So, on to the next one. Over to the top of the forest region for this one. I've not looked at many camps around the forest, but this one's pretty cool. Pretty well established here. Plenty of crops out front. Nice little player vending area on the veranda. I don't really want to call it a balcony because it's on ground level, but patio, I suppose. Not entirely sold on using the shag carpet outside, but there we go. Clearly somebody who is committing their time, however, to the game. We've got somebody who's playing a fair bit of Nuclear Winter with that Vault Boy severed head statue there, and a lot of Pioneer Scouts flags as well. It was hard work to get, so a lot of time sunk into this there. A good bit of the Fashion Act streamer decorations here, which is really, really cool. I like those a lot. Gives the place a lot of character. Another bit of the Nuclear Winter rewards down there in the stash box. Some Pioneer Scout stash boxes as well, so looking at this is clearly somebody who's sunk a lot of time into the game, which is very, very cool to see. Got a nice mix of furniture in here as well that I quite like. I like that mobile. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Nice use of mixed materials as well, different contrasting floors there, and heading up into the barn pieces on the upper floor from the steel lower floor, which is quite cool. Unfortunately, the fireplace is still pumping smoke into the building rather than outside, so would like to see those adjusted a little bit, but more of a design flaw with the item rather than anything else. Hop up onto the roof because for some very, very strange reason there is a tent up here. Somebody displaying their patriotism with the flags there. Hospital bed in there. Bit of an odd choice of a place to your bedroom, I suppose, but especially as they've got a bed on the ground floor, but fair enough. Plenty of crops out here. I'm guessing they're on a carrot soup in an adhesive farm run. Well, they don't seem to have any corn, so maybe not. A lot of mute fruit, a lot of carrots, a lot of potatoes. Definitely not going to be starving anytime soon. I have absolutely no idea what the idea is here. It's strange, but creative, I'll give it that. Got the Vault 51 Overseer's chair down there, surrounded with Tesla arcs, which is more than a little bit ominous, especially with the trigger up here. I don't know if this is so that the player can sit there and sort of survey the northern forest and look intimidating while they do it, or if it's something more sinister, but definitely creative. The effect's pretty cool. You can't really tell from this side, but with the front of the chair being blue, it probably looks quite interesting as well. The colours will go quite well together. Yeah, very well established camp here. It looks really, really cool. I do like that moose painting on the tree as well. That's a little different as well. That's cool. So, this particular camp is, again, up in the Northern Savage Divide. It's in a very densely wooded area. The player has clearly had to incorporate into the build, because I don't think the two trees that this house is built around will actually scrap. Got a bit of an unfinished vibe to it, which is not really my sort of thing, but in terms of building around the trees, I do like that. It's a bit of a pity that the branches take up so much space inside the building, but quite a cool concept nonetheless. Using different height wall pieces, some of the angled pieces as well, making use of the bit of the ground that they're stuck with there around the tree to get a few plants in. That's quite cool. Green light in the corner there. We'll keep an eye out to see what that's coming from. A little view out the back there. Not totally sold on having it open there. I think I'd run the cables through a window rather than having open gaps in the wall, but each to their own. I like the little water purifier area on the right there, sort of inside the building and outside at the same time. It's quite a cool combination. I see, we've got a green cycling light up the top here. Fair enough. Negotiate our way around the tree here. We've got a little sleeping area. Tree sticking out the roof as well, which is quite cool. And the rest of the workstations on this side, as well as their fusion generator. Again, the branches of the tree kind of get in the way a little bit, which is a bit unfortunate, because otherwise this is a pretty cool build. It gives it a bit of a rough, unfinished slapdash feel, unfortunately, because of the branches, but not much player can do about that, I don't think. That's a symptom of the limitations of the building, the bulldozing feature, rather. I do like these two defensive walls, I suppose, concrete defensive walls out front as a kind of railing and a different look to the front of the build. That's very cool. Taking advantage of the resource node there. A little bit of moonlight peeking over the top. Plenty of turrets there to defend their water purifiers. Unfortunately, they still seem to have got one that's destroyed. I do like the fact it looks like the scarecrow is holding the roof up there. That's quite cool. Like they've combined a roof over the top of the water purifiers with it, but having it still outside at the same time is quite a cool little effect. Bit of mixed materials going on. Personally, I'm not a fan of the warehouse pieces. I think I'll be using them actually fairly soon. We'll have to see. But they're not quite as nice as some of the others, I don't think, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, interesting take on a build there. And on to the last one. We've gone over to the Myer for this one. We've not seen many builds over this side yet, which is quite cool to mix that up. Player's got their shop area, the player vending on the lower level here. This is actually behind the Valley Galleria on the other side of the river. This is quite a cool little location. There's some good spots around here. Plenty of water purifiers out the back. Plenty of player vending on the go as well. Another fairly long staircase up to the cliff edge where they've got the main build. If I can get around that rock. Plenty of turrets. I'd like to see a bit more of a turret emplacement built rather than just dropping them straight on the ground. It makes it a bit easy to attack the turrets with them where they are. But as we head up, we can see I've got plenty of supports underneath, which is quite cool. Using the post there. Clearly this person has quite the love of neon. So sunglasses at the ready as we move inside. Ah, it's bright. I really like how clean it looks. It's impressive given that they've used the wooden wall pieces. But the way the light reflects off the dark laminate flooring is really, really nice as well. It creates a really nice effect, very atmospheric, which I like. Big fan of the pot plants. All the workbenches stuck in there, everything you need. Little sleeping area. Head out the back, we've got termination arch and the power generator. Tucked out of the way so it shouldn't get attacked, which is always a good plan. I like this narrow little walkway that kind of tucks in the corner of the cliff face there as well. That's quite cool. Gets you to the power armor station and the brewing stations. Take a little look down here. You can see the tall conduit there powering the layer vending down below. Yeah, a nice little, relatively simple but very, very striking build to finish on here, which is really cool. I like it a lot. Very, very colourful, which is something we don't see too much of, which is nice. So, I do hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gents. If you did, do hit those buttons for me. It's always very much appreciated. Should have social media links popping up about now as well, so catch up with me over there if you haven't already, down in the description too. And head on over to the streams as well if you happen to catch us live. It's a good time to be had. If you haven't already and you're particularly enjoying the content, please do consider becoming a channel member via the join button below. The support is hugely appreciated, so thank you very much to you guys. So on that note, I will say thank you very much for watching, and I'll be speaking to you all very, very soon.